UFOs, are we alone? For decades, UFO sightings have sparked curiosity and debate. Are these mysterious objects evidence of alien visitors, or is there a more earthly explanation? We've got government conspiracies, we've got blurry photos and videos, we've got dudes wandering the desert with radiation detectors looking for crash sites. It's wild, man. In this video, we're going to dive deep into some of the most compelling and controversial UFO incidents ever recorded. We're talking Roswell, we're talking Phoenix Lights, we're talking the whole damn shebang. We're going to look at the evidence, we're going to analyze the theories, and we're going to try to figure out what the hell is really going on out there. Strap yourselves in, folks, because this is going to be a wild ride. All right, let's kick things off in the desert, 1947, Roswell, New Mexico. It's like the granddaddy of all UFO stories, right? A rancher finds some weird debris in his field, calls the authorities, and boom! The army shows up, throws a tarp over everything, and tells everyone it's just a weather balloon. Come on, man, a weather balloon? That's what they thought they could get away with. People weren't buying it then, and they sure as hell aren't buying it now. The stories started flying immediately. Bodies being pulled from the wreckage, autopsies being conducted in secret government facilities, and the government's response just made it all the more suspicious. They changed their story multiple times. First it was a weather balloon, then it was a secret surveillance project, then it was... well, you get the picture. It was shady as hell. Now, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was definitely something. And the government went to extraordinary lengths to cover it up. What were they so afraid of? What don't they want us to know? The Roswell incident is the ultimate rabbit hole. It's a story of government secrecy, of possible extraterrestrial contact, and of the enduring power of a good mystery. And it all went down right there in the middle of the New Mexico desert. Now, fast forward to 1997, Phoenix, Arizona. Thousands of people from all walks of life witnessed a massive V-shaped object hovering over the city. We're talking cops, pilots, everyday folks just looking up at the sky. This wasn't some blurry photo, this was a mass sighting. And these lights weren't zipping around like you normally hear. They were just kind of there, hanging out in the sky, doing their thing. Some people said it was like something out of a movie. Now, the official explanation, military flares. Seriously, they said it was flares from a nearby Air Force base. But here's the thing, a lot of people who saw the lights, including some experienced pilots, weren't buying it. They said the lights moved too slowly, too deliberately to be flares. It's like they knew they were being watched. The Phoenix Lights incident is one of the most well-documented UFO sightings ever. We're talking thousands of witnesses. It's hard to ignore that many people. Was it a top-secret government aircraft? Was it some kind of atmospheric phenomenon we don't understand? Or was it something else entirely? Whatever it was, the Phoenix Lights remain a fascinating and unexplained mystery. Now let's hop across the pond to good old England. 1980, Rendlesham Forest. This is often called Britain's Roswell, and for good reason. We're talking about multiple encounters over several nights involving US Air Force personnel stationed at a nearby base. These weren't your average UFO sightings either. We're talking about strange lights in the forest, objects moving at incredible speeds, and even claims of physical contact. Imagine being a trained military officer, armed to the teeth and encountering something you can't explain. It'd freak you out, man. One of the most intriguing aspects of this case is the involvement of Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt. This wasn't some low-level grunt. This was a high-ranking officer who personally witnessed these events. He even made audio recordings of the encounters, describing the lights, the movements, and the overall strangeness of the situation. These recordings, along with his detailed written reports, added a layer of credibility to the Rendlesham Forest incident that's hard to dismiss. Chapter 4, Battle of Los Angeles. They fired on this next one takes us back to the US of A 1942, Los Angeles, California. World War II is raging, tensions are high, and suddenly an unidentified object appears in the sky over Los Angeles. And what do? We freak out. I mean, who wouldn't? We're talking about a time when everyone was on edge, expecting an attack at any moment. So when this mysterious object showed up, the military went on high alert. Anti-aircraft batteries were deployed, and they unleashed a barrage of fire into the night sky. Over 1,400 rounds were fired. The whole city could hear the roar of the guns. It's wild to think about. Now, the official explanation was that it was a weather balloon. Again, a weather balloon. But a lot of people, including some military personnel, weren't convinced. They said the object moved too quickly, too erratically to be a balloon. Some even claimed to have seen multiple objects in the sky that night. The Battle of Los Angeles remains one of the most baffling incidents in UFO history. We're talking about a full-on military engagement with something. It's crazy. Chapter 5. Kecksburg. They called it a fireball. Let's jump ahead to 1965, Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Witnesses reported seeing a large, fiery object streak across the sky and crash into the woods. Not just your average shooting star, this thing was moving. People described it as a fireball, trailing smoke and making a hell of a racket. It's like something out of a Spielberg movie. And as if that wasn't wild enough, things got even weirder when the military showed up. They cordoned off the area, wouldn't let anyone near the crash site. People reported seeing a large, acorn-shaped object being loaded onto a flatbed truck and hauled away. What was it? Where did it go? Nobody knows. The official explanation? Oh, you guessed it, a meteor. But eyewitnesses claim to have seen something much more substantial, something clearly not of this world. It's like the government just dusts off the same old explanations whenever something strange happens. The Kecksburg UFO incident is a classic case of government secrecy and conflicting accounts. It's a story that continues to fascinate and fuel speculation to this day. Chapter 6. Shag Harbour. It crashed into the ocean. Our final stop takes us to Shag Harbour, Nova Scotia, Canada, 1967. This one's a little different because instead of crashing in the desert or the woods, this object went. It crashed into the ocean. Fishermen reported seeing a bright object descend from the sky and plunge into the water. They said it was like something out of a dream, this glowing orb disappearing beneath the waves. And then the real mystery began. The Canadian Navy launched a full-scale search and rescue operation. They were looking for this mysterious object, but they were also looking for survivors. They thought it might have been a plane crash, but they couldn't find any wreckage. The official explanation? They said it was probably a meteor. But many people, including some of the witnesses and investigators, believe that something far more extraordinary occurred that night in Shag Harbour. Ultimo, the truth is out there. So there you have it, folks. 6 of the most compelling and controversial UFO incidents ever recorded. Roswell, Phoenix Lights, Rendlesham Forest, the Battle of Los Angeles, Kecksburg, Shag Harbour. Each one a mystery, a puzzle begging to be solved. Whether these sightings are evidence of alien visitors or secret human technology, one thing is clear. The mystery continues to captivate us. What do you think? Are we alone in the universe, or is there more to these UFO sightings than meets the eye? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. The truth is out there, somewhere,